Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are going to get started now. Actually, I'll turn this on so you guys can see me. Hello. This will be recorded so that we can post it online for later reference. But essentially today, what I would like to do is review the fall schedule. I'm going to be reviewing each floor plan, load in, load out, kind of the frequently asked questions for each event. And then I will show you some resources at the end and some new things that we are offering. As far as like tent rentals, some updates on electricity, some updates on lighting as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First things first, this is our website, bigtop.show, and then /schedule is probably the #1 most used link. It's here under shopping and parking information. And this is probably the easiest way to, one, see the full schedule, also register as an exhibitor. So each event on the schedule is going to have kind of like a poster. If you click on that, it's going to take you to what I consider consumer information or people who are attending the event. So it's going to give you the address, you can click for directions, and then the most commonly asked questions like what to expect, what should I wear, what size clothing do you guys offer, and things like that. And then under each one, we'll say exhibitor registration. So you can click on exhibitor registration. And that will take you to either an information page first. And you'll see as we go through these events with different types of exhibitor spots, like outdoor versus big top tent versus boutique truck. We'll take you to information page like that, where you can then click your different options at the bottom. If it's an indoor event or there's only one type of event, then it'll take you straight here where you can see the floor plan and you can also see what inventory is available and register. So let's get a move on and hit up our first event. We're going to be going in date order here. And our first event is going to be the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo, which is scheduled for October 6th through 16th. This is an indoor event. We do have a handful of outdoor spaces available as well, including boutique truck and trailer spaces. So this event is in Waco, Texas, and it is part of the larger event, which is the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo. They have 250,000 people who attended last year. It's very similar if you've been to, Houston, Montgomery, Pasadena Fair and Rodeo, very similar setup. They have the full midway. They're going to have all of your carnival food, so most of your fried foods. They have a lot of different activities for the youth. So they have like pig races and like a Western skit show, just different things like that that go on throughout. They do have concerts on the weekend. Clay Walker is coming this year, so I'm pretty excited about that. And what's nice about this rodeo is general admission is $14, I believe, and that includes the concerts, which is great. They do have an indoor arena where they do rodeo and bull riding, and that is an additional ticket. So looking at the floor plan, and I'm going to, whoops, wrong way. Zoom in here on the floor plan for you. Maybe. All right. So this area over here, and I should make a note just to kind of like update the map for hot. Okay. This is actually the entrance over here, so row J. So basically when people come into the event, they'll be entering this way. In perspective of the full fair and rodeo, down here would be the main gate. That's where I would say 75%. They do have other gates, but they're not really as well used as this front one. Is where 75% of the whole traffic from the rodeo is coming in. So they'll come in the main gate. There will be an outdoor stage where they do a lot of like a community production. So your local dance groups, your cheerleading team, all of those, they do different skits throughout the day. And then right outside these doors are 3 boutique trucks and then 3 10x20 outdoor booths. Then they come in any of these doors and they come straight into the market. So if you see all of the pink, red, and purple booths are what we consider premium placement, because that's where you're going to have the highest traffic. The yellow booths are our standard exhibitor booths, where you do have a little bit less traffic and therefore the price is a little bit less. Sorry, guys. Big question is always Farm Bureau. What is this? Farm Bureau is a big sponsor of the rodeo. So they have an interactive kids exhibit where they have like chicks hatching. Last year they had a couple like baby pigs that people could pet. And then they'll have different like interactive things. Like they have like a little cotton gin thing. So you can put like raw cotton in it and then spin it and see how it comes out into fluffy cotton. They had, I think, like maybe how corn grows, just different exhibits on, you know, agriculture related things. Kid Zone is like a play area. It's free. It's like basically yard games and just different games that kids can do. It's really geared for like, I would say 6 years and under. So if you're interested in getting registered for HOT, I will say you want to register soon because we are getting to where we're about to be sold out. I have them in alphabetical order. We have one premium 10 by 10 available, which is sorry guys, which is AC5 of, oh my goodness. Sorry, it like blows the map up when you scroll over it. But it's between row D and row C on the left side. You'll see AC5 is a 10 by 10 there. The price is $700. And then we also have BNs, which were somehow left out of inventory. So BN 2, 3, and 4 are now available. We just listed those. So if you're looking for a premium 10 by 20 or 10 by 30, you can stitch those together to make whatever size booth you like. And then the rest that are available are going to be standard booths. And we do have some corners still available. Corners are $650. Standard 10 by 10s are $550, and you can add additional inventory based on what you need. So you can kind of see everything that's available. We have one truck and trailer space still available, and we have all 3 of the 10 by 20 outdoor spots available. If you like being outdoor, I would definitely go for these. I mean, the traffic is huge. Like I said, 75% of the exhibitors, or not the exhibitors, of the attendees who go to this fair and rodeo go through that gate. So you're going to get at least 150, if not 200,000 people walking directly by your booth. So those are great spots. Of course, you know, it's a give and take. So you are outdoor opposed to being indoors. So you don't have that amenity, but the traffic is just out of control. And the concert stage is also just past our building. So it gets very packed at nights on the weekends because you have all the concert goers, and then they all have to leave out of that gate. So they are going to pass you several times. So if you're considering an outdoor booth and you're like, I don't know, I would highly recommend the outdoor booths because they just are really great for traffic. So this is the direct link. This is bigtop.show/Waco October if you want to look into the Hot Fair and Rodeo. A few things, all of the indoor booths, electricity is provided. It's included in your booth registration, as well as black pipe and drape. So you don't have to worry about bringing your own pipe and drape, although you guys know how much I stress great display. So if you do have a backdrop that's specific to your brand, you want to bring that. All right, moving right along, we are going to Grand Central Park. That is a development in Conroe. It's right off of 336 South. And if you are familiar with the area, there's the big shopping center with Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Dick's Sporting Goods and Chick-fil-A. So it's that full neighborhood that's right behind there. So this is kind of a hybrid between I just had a feeling my microphone wasn't on. This is kind of a hybrid between our country club events and like an outdoor festival. And so we're kind of guests at this event. They wanted to invite Burkhardt Winery and do like a wine event. So it's a sip and shop. Burkhardt Winery will be out there selling wine. But we are really excited to just kind of establish this partnership so that we can do bigger events with them next year. This is Saturday, October 8th. The market runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this is our floor plan over here. Take a bigger look at that as well. All right, so pretty much everything is considered outdoor. The pink booths that you see, the AA booths, those are covered under a very large pavilion. So it has a roof, it has cement floors, it does not have walls. So I do believe all of those booths are sold out at this point. All of the yellow booths are going to be your standard exhibitor booths, outdoor 10 by 10, bring your own tent. We do have 2 boutique truck spaces available. I know one, I think they might both be sold out at this point. And then we also do have 2, the green ones are food trucks or trailers, food exhibitor spaces available. Now, if you go on the site to register for this one, which is very close to being sold out as well. So if you're looking for October Big Top events, now is the time to get registered, because yes, it looks like the only things available are right here. So, and this is not true because 1 food truck is sold, but anyhow, we have 2 food trucks and we have 2 assigned 10 by 10 spaces. They are next to each other. So if you're wanting to do a 10 by 20, you can do that. And then we have our assigned on arrivals. So if you imagine, this is, excuse me, this is the floor plan. What would be north on this photo, so just straight up, that is the park that is there. There's a dog park and there's a very large like gymnasium kids park at this site. Where you see on the left side it says restrooms, that is the pool and the pool hall area. And then at the bottom where there's another restroom sign and it says Lake House AC indoor seating area. That is basically their residence, you know, clubhouse, party house. They call it the lake house there. They are going to have seating inside there. It is air conditioned. There will be restrooms there as well. And then if you look to the far right where it says UA1, UA2, and then all the way through UA5, that is a sidewalk that not only wraps around to the front of the building and by the lake, but it also connects the parking lot. So where all of your shoppers are going to be parking, they have to walk up this walkway to get to the event. So if you register for a UA or assigned on arrival booth, you'll be placed basically as you arrive on that path. So it's not necessarily assigned like all of the other booths, but I will say those are great places to be, because again, that's going to be you're gonna be the first ones they see when they come in and the last ones they see when they leave. And so basically as you arrive, we'll be placing you. So if you, let's say, want a 10 by 30, you would just register for 3 UA booths. And then when you arrive, you'll be 1, 2, 3, the next in line. So if you're wanting to be closer to the pavilion, then you definitely want to come for Friday setup. If you want to be closer to the parking lot, then come later on Friday or even Saturday morning for setup. And we'll talk a little bit more about setup instructions and all of those details when we get to the end of the presentation. So the direct link here is bigtop.show/Conroe October. And that will take you directly to this registration page. And of course, like I showed you in the beginning, the bigtop.show/schedule is where you can also come to maybe schedule. Anywho, you guys should be familiar with that. bigtop.show/schedule, and then you can see the full schedule here and click on exhibitor registration. So that would be this one here, October 8th, and you click on exhibitor registration. All right, moving right along to something really new and exciting, which is our first time having a field at Round Top. This has been something I've obviously wanted to do for years. I've had several people ask me to do it, or, you know, why aren't you doing it? And it was just kind of like, it never really fell into place. And I'm just a strong believer in going with the flow of life. I don't like to push against life too much, because I've just learned in my experience it never works out. But this kind of, it just looked like a perfect partnership. The venue was really excited to have us. We were really excited to be there. So this is our floor plan. Basically, you need to read the description to honestly know what's going on. A lot of these we did tent provided. So if you look at the top right back corner, that is going to be basically the Big Top tent, the same tent that we have at all of our other events. But we really beefed up the size of all of these booths because it's a 10-day event. You really need to have substantial inventory. And we didn't have to deal with really like the storage aspect of, I have such a small booth, where am I going to store all of my back inventory? So that's all tent provided. It will have walls, providing we have the correct weather. If it's really hot and humid, then we drop the walls because you just can't breathe in there, and it makes it so much nicer. But if we're expecting rain, if they're expecting wind, if we're expecting it to be colder and not so humid, then we will have the walls up. All of your booths that end in a Q that are purple, so you see ACQ 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are all boutique truck or trailer. So you can kind of get to know our color coding system because we use it for every single event. So if you see a dark purple with a Q, you know that's going to be a boutique truck or trailer. And then our AB 1, 3, and 5 up at the top right corner, those are outdoors, and those are bring your own tents. So most of the outdoor spaces are going to be bring your own tent, but if you look over here where you would select your booth, it's going to tell you NCAP, bring your own tent, rental available. Some of them we do have tents available for rent, and then some are tent included. So we try to do a really good mix of price points and sizes. So if you look to the left middle and you see the kind of orangey yellow, those are all 10 by 10 bring your own tents. And then the orange BBs are all 10 by 20 bring your own tent. Greens are your truck and trailer, and then the AC1 and the AC2 are kind of oversized, larger spaces, and those are tent available for rent. So you can bring your own tent or not. And then ADX1 is going to be 5D Traveling Tavern. If you've been to most of our outdoor festivals, you've seen them before. The trailer that does the full bar, margaritas, Bloody Marys, beers, the whole works. So they will be with us, which we're very excited about. And then at the bottom right, we have the pink BAs. Those are all 10 by 20 in a tent. So very similar to the big top tent, just a long skinny tent. There will be a wall on the back side, which faces the road, and we'll be using that for marketing displays. So we'll have banners and information on there for drivers by. And then you kind of see that thin white line. So the tent itself is going to be 20 feet deep. You'll be taking 10 feet, and then that leaves another 10 feet just for shoppers to have shade as they walk by the booths. And then BA 1 through 4, the orange to the right, those are 10 by 20, bring your own tents. Now, if you look kind of directly in the center to the right of the big house, CA 1 through 5, those are 10 by 10, bring your own tent for the first weekend only. So all of the booths out here are for the full 10 days. So you're paying rent for the full 10 days of the event. And then the CA 1 through 5 are just for the first weekend only. So if you can only come for one weekend, that's where you want to register. And you see there's only 5, so I would definitely register very soon because I'm sure they will sell out quickly if they're not already. And the second weekend of the event, which is the 29th and 30th, we will be having a vintage car show there that's benefiting a local charity. So that's pretty exciting. As far as how people will enter, the bottom of the map down here, I can get it to work with me. I'd zoom out a little bit, might help you guys. So down here where this drive is and it wise, and this is all cement, by the way. I think this is an older photo. It looks like a dirt, but it's all cement. You would drive in here and so would customers from the main road. And then both for customers and for exhibitors, we're going to go up here. And this is where you guys are basically going to unload. You'll be able to drive up to your booth. If you're down towards the front, of course, you'll be able to drive in this way to unload. We have absolutely no issue with loading and unloading directly at your booth. Customers will come, we'll have general parking up here, and then our overflow parking and probably our exhibitor trailer parking will be along the side here. So if you're looking for traffic, most people are going to be parking here and then walking down into the event this way. There's been discussions about allowing people to park here during the week since we won't have any exhibitors here. And we're going to try it, and as long as it doesn't become an issue, then I'm fine with it. My thing is there's only probably 12 to 15 parking spots there. And so there can become like a traffic jam. There can also be like double parking issues. And if it just gets out of control, then we're not going to allow parking there. And we'll just stick with the big field where everyone has plenty of room to do whatever they like. So let me check on those weekend booths for you, the CAs. Which I do try to keep everything in alphabetical order. So down here, so it looks like we've sold 2 and we have 3 available. So if you're looking for just that first weekend, then I would register soon as well. Alrighty, now you guys can unmute yourself at any time. You can also, yes, I'm just checking the settings. You can do that. And I'll also open up the little chat box over here. So if you have questions, like as we go along, feel free to put it in the chat box, or feel free to unmute yourself and just say, excuse me, Melissa, and ask your question, because I don't want you to get to the end and then you forgot what question you had about a specific event. So don't hesitate to chime in at any time. All right, moving right along. So we're going to be talking about Belleville. This is at Austin County Fairgrounds. That is northwest of Houston. It's kind of between Sealy, near College Station, Bryan area. This will be our 3rd time out there. So if you go to the schedule page or bigtop.show/Belleville November, you will end up on this page. And here we basically have 4 different types of exhibitor spaces. We have big top tent, outdoor, boutique trucker trailer, and food exhibitors. So just for anybody who's new here, I'll give a kind of a broad overview of what each of those are. So we do these 4 types of exhibitors when we do our big shopping festivals. Our shopping festivals is where we have, ideally 150 to 300 exhibitors. It's outdoor. We usually have like live music. We have the food trucks. We have the bar. So 5D will be with us all fall. So anywhere that we can sell alcohol, 5D will be there, including in Belleville. So the big top tent is going to be your premium space. You're going to be covered. The tent has a roof. It has walls. Again, unless it's super humid, we'll drop the walls. And it does have a grass floor. So it's about as close as you can get to being indoor at an outdoor event. Everybody always wants to know what's inside the big top tent. It's huge. So as far as people, traffic, I would say everybody who attends an event with the big top tent does go into the big top tent. So you do get more traffic there. So here's the inventory that we have available. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. You can click on the second photo to kind of see the larger picture. So you can see here, this is what the full event looks like. As far as general parking, you can't see it here, but where you see this different colored grass, that's where people will come in for traffic. So if that's important to you to be like the first and the last one seen, then you might want to do an outdoor booth that looks at the parking lot. These are our boutique truck and trailer spaces. We have quite a few options for you to choose from. X1 is 5D Traveling Tavern, so that's the bar. And then we do like a little food court over here. It is on gravel. Food exhibitors always know that when you come to a big top event, you have to provide your own electricity, bring your own generators or whatever you need. Same for boutique trucks and trailers. And then you always are going to need to dispose of your grease on your own. It's against the law to throw it in a dumpster. You need to dispose of it in a properly licensed facility. And you should know where that is since you are a food exhibitor. Of course, we have tons of porta potties. So the pink booths here are premium. That is the big top tent, and then outdoor standard placement is bring your own tent. You can always create whatever size booth that you want. So we do put together like 10 by 20s and 10 by 30s and 20 by 20s. But let's say that you want these 3 as a 10 by 30. You can certainly do that by just adding each of those booths to your cart, and then you're reserved for all 3. So as far as the big top tent goes, we have the main entrance off the front as well as the entrance off of the side. I would say both. This is the similar, or actually the same layout that we did last time, and it worked very well. So both entrances got lots of traffic. Some people did, outdoors first and then came in the tent, and then some people came straight in the tent and then went outside and did the outdoors. Again, you can kind of piece your booths together as you like. If you guys ever see these 10 by 30s that are in the corner, you see those a lot inside the big top tent. Those are heavily discounted. So if you are a 10 by 20, typically, I would just check the price on the 10 by 30s because a lot of times it's just, you know, maybe $100 more. $935 for A19. Let's check A5 because it's not a corner. So $560 for a non-corner 10 by 30 and our 10 by 20. Let's see, that's an end cap. That's a corner, A38. It's actually a little bit less than the 10 by 20. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you want to click around and check the different pricing, but this is a key indicator here. If there's no corners and it's a 10 by 30, that's that kind of shape, like the L shape, it's usually heavily discounted. So check that out. And it's a great spot. It's not discounted because it's not good. It's honestly discounted because if we don't make it this shape, we have to make it 2 10 by 10s and we just have a dead corner. So that's why those are discounted because we can't use the space anyway. This is a 2-day event, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. We're going to get into Belleville, or I'm sorry, we're going to get into Madisonville towards the end of this because we're going in date order, but that is Madisonville is going to be a new type of event and a new kind of structure that we've never done before. We'll be running 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday. And we want to see if that goes off with a bang. I think it will. And then we'll probably start doing that in Belleville next year. So something exciting to look forward to. All right, this one has been very popular, probably with the most registrations recently, and that is the Katy Agricultural Science Center. It's owned by Katy ISD, so we will not have alcohol here, as well as someone asked, I would never have thought about it. You cannot sell knives at this event because it's on school property. And so it's not a brand new facility, but new as in the last 5 to 10 years. So it's beautiful. If you guys go on our Instagram and go to our stories, I do a lot of site previews, and there I actually do videos so you can see what the venue looks like inside. But this is a 100%, I shouldn't say 100%, but mostly an indoor event. All of the retail exhibitors will be indoor, so you want to register here at the indoor registration. Now we have hot food registration, so that can be tent, truck, or trailer. They'll be outside at the entrance, as well as boutique trucks and trailers will be outside at the entrance. So let's jump into the indoor registration because that's going to give us a good look at the full map. So sometimes these maps, oh, that looks really great. Sometimes these maps can be hard to read. And so I do try to break them up. So always look to see if there are additional photos. And so I'll blow up like the front versus the rear and all of those good things. So let's see, which one do I want to look at? Look at this one. It looks pretty good. See if I can blow it up a little bit bigger for you. If you guys are not finding the sizing to be good, because it looks great on my side, but I don't know what it looks like on your side, then drop it in the chat and let me know what is off about it. All right, so just kind of going from the left side of the photo to the right. So where it says main entrance, that's going to be your main door. We do have 2 indoor concession stand opportunities available. However, there is no like kitchen. There's a back area that you could use for like staging your food and drinks and whatnot, but there's no like you know, stovetop, freezer, fridge, anything like that. So if you wanted to do indoor concession, then you need to think of it more as a catering gig and excuse me, and bring all of your own coolers, fridge, freezer, chafing dishes, whatever you're going to use to keep it hot. So that's inside the building. Right outside of that main entrance is an outdoor area where we will have like a picnic area. We can have food trucks and trailers as well as food booths if you want to cook outside. And then we also have the boutique trucks and trailers at the front entrance. So you walk in, you have the concession stand, and you have these 2, AA1 and AA2, which are basically in the foyer of the building. Then you would walk in, it's gonna, no, perfect, all right. You're gonna walk in straight through here, and now you're in the main area of the building. You're in the building here, you're in the foyer. There we go. You're in the foyer, and then now you come into the main room. So again, pinks and purples are going to be your premium placement, and then oranges and yellows are going to be your standard placement. So the booths in here are a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get all the traffic. I mean, they have to come in and they have to leave from here. There's no way around that. So you come around here, I believe, and I could be wrong, we'll look at the inventory. I only have BA8 and BD03, two 10x30s available in this front area. I think the rest is sold out. Now this is all one building, but there is a little hallway here that everybody has to go down. So in order to get to the standard exhibitor placement, they have to go either this aisle or that aisle. And we have two large booths. It's kind of like a corridor. So there is a hard wall here that separates these two from in here. Both of those placements are sold out. And then you come into the main room, of course, your restrooms, and then, wall to wall of shopping. I think all of the end caps and end corners might be sold out, but we do have inline booths available. And then this is a very easy load in and load out venue. We basically have 3 points of access. So load in and out from here. We'll have vendor parking back here. And then we also have 2 more doors for loading in and out. They're big bay doors, so you don't have to worry about height or anything like that. So if being close to the load in and out door is important to you, then you can check those out. This will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. So a 2-day indoor event, which I think is going to be fabulous. Guys, always when you're looking, I know a lot of people, they land on the very first photo and they never go further than that. And I know that because I get so many questions and I'm like, there's additional photos. So always, check that when you're looking at registrations online. We do have additional photos available. And so you can see the inventory. It's an alphabetical order of what is open. So like I said, we have these two as far as premium placement goes, and we have BL07, which is going to be that top 10x20 up here. So 1 10x20 and 2 10x30s available for premium, and a pretty good amount of inventory available for the standard placement booths. But again, I wouldn't wait till the last minute to register. We do what's called open registration. So Big Top does not have necessarily like a hard deadline where it's like you have to register by XYZ day or you can't get into the event. And we really, just to go into Storyland for a moment, we want to be accessible for everybody, whether you're just starting out in your business and you are literally going show to show, paying those registration fees because that's all the funds that you have. Or if you're one of our larger established boutiques that comes in and gets, a 400, 500, 600 square foot booth and you register for the whole year in advance. So that's why we have open registration, but things do sell out. Big Top, typically almost every single one of our events does sell out. So you don't want to wait until the last minute to register. When you can register, go ahead and do it. And also that's how you get the best placements. That's how you get the best spaces. So the sooner you register, the more likely you are to get like front of house, 10x20s, end caps, corners, and all of those things. All right, I don't see any questions on the chat box and no one's unmuted themselves, so I'm going to keep on rolling. Now we're diving into mid-November, and this is the weekend before Thanksgiving. It is the coveted Big Top Shopping Festival in downtown Conroe, what I would consider our flagship event. It's definitely the largest event as far as number of exhibitors. We'll have about 300 there. So when you go to bigtop.show/Conroe November, you will see all of these options, and you do see that some areas are sold out already, and you might be like, I don't even know where to start. If you've never been to the event before, then I would say just pick one, because honestly, all of them are great. All of our spots are great. There's pros and cons of each one, and sometimes it depends on what you're looking for. So we can knock off the bat right now. Simonton Street, when we get to the map, I'll kind of explain all the streets. Simonton Street is sold out. Food exhibitors are sold out, and boutique trucks and trailers are also, oh, there's more down here, are also sold out. So if you're looking for one of those, they're gone. We do have the Big Top Tent. We also have Main Market, San Jacinto, the music stage area, and Metcalf Street and Newton Street. So let's open up a map and start talking about what all of these streets are. First of all, anywhere you see the name street, just know that you're on a street, so you are going to be on blacktop. So if that's important to you, some people that's very important to them, then you can go ahead and register for any of the street booths, and you're not going to be on grass. The only area that is on grass is what we call the Main Market, which is the area right outside of the Big Top Tent. So let me blow this map up a little bit, and then we can start looking at the different areas of the market. Now, as far as setup details, we do setup on Thursday and Friday for the Conroe event. So we have security starting Thursday night. It runs all the way through Sunday when we leave the event. So I can get it a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. And so you can do setup Thursday or Friday. So if we start up here at the top, if you're familiar with Conroe, West Davis Street is also known as 105. It runs from 45 straight through downtown. The courthouse and everything is going to be on Davis Street. So we get a ton of drive-by traffic and people who are like, oh, what's going on? Or now that Conroe is familiar with us, as soon as they see that Big Top Tent go up during the week and we're doing setup, we will actually have people stop during the week asking, when they can start shopping. We have people that even shop during setup. So just be prepared for that. Have your Square reader in your purse. But that is the main street that runs down downtown Conroe. Over here, you can kind of see it. It says parking garage. That is a 4-story parking garage that is free for the public to use. So a lot of people will park in that parking garage. Of course, it gets filled up and people rotate in and out. So you do have traffic kind of coming from every direction, but a lot of traffic does come from here because people will park in the garage and walk over. They also just park on the streets of downtown. Over here, the other side of Simonton Street, there's also I wouldn't say a lot of parking, but people make a lot of parking over there and park in closed businesses and on the streets on that side. So Simonton Street is basically the main street that kind of runs right through the middle of the event. We have our food court here. You see a lot of boutique trucks and trailers. Those are the purple ones. And we have a dumpster here. And then of course, all the yellows and oranges, like we've been discussing for the other events, are all bring your own tent standard exhibitor booths. So all of these are going to be on blacktop. Newton Street here, this is actually a new addition for this year. So we've typically used this area just for staging, some trailer parking. If people want to camp out at the event, we let them come here. But this year we are utilizing it for exhibitor space. Again, if you're familiar with Conroe, you have the Chamber of Commerce here. The pink and purples are going to be the premium. So that's the Big Top Tent. We actually bring 2 tents, but from the outside, it looks like one. And that we will look at inventory, what's available here in a minute, but I would say it's about 70% sold out, it looked like. And then out here is going to be your Main Market. So this is grass, this is bring your own tent. And we have inventory available in here as well. I do believe most of the corners and end caps, as well as the booths on the outside of the Big Top Tent, are already sold out, but we do have standard booths available. The 5D Traveling Tavern, the beer and cocktail trailer, will be here, as well as a food truck, and then we have porta potties. So it's a great place to be. That's where your serious shoppers are going to go. They're not going to miss the Big Top Tent, and of course, if they go to the Big Top Tent, they're going to hit all of your outdoor booths. So great placement there. Now, if we go down to the other half, you see the music stage right here in the middle of Heritage Park. So we do have live music all weekend long. This would be the music stage area booth. So if you want any of these, they are on concrete. It's basically a driveway or a sidewalk that cuts through to Simonton Street. So down here on Metcalf Street, there is additional parking, again, mostly at closed businesses that are closed. People will park on the street and they will walk in. People come from every direction. So I wouldn't say like, this is where they enter. They really do come from every single direction. So this would be the music stage booths that you see here. We have 10 by 20s and 10 by 10s. And where you see these cutouts between the trees, those are walkways that are open. So people could come out from Main Market and then come in this way. And we also have porta potties. So you get a lot of traffic in that way because obviously people need to use the restroom. And we'll have a picnic area. And then this is the kid zone here. So over here is where we have like the bouncy houses and we have jelly ball and all the different activities for the kids. And we do have some exhibitor spaces over here. I'm just going to be honest and frank with you guys. If there's anything else available, I would not choose this. I would not make the assumption that I have children's items, like I have a baby boutique, so I want to be near the kid zone. Most parents, when they take their kids to the kid zone, they're just like, all right, you can run around for 30 minutes and then we're going to go back to doing what I want to do. And then we'll come back later if you are good. And they're just really not honestly looking for shopping. I would say these are the spots that get filled up last because people register at the very last minute. So just some words of advice. If you want a great spot to sell, I would do Main Market. I would do any of the streets. San Jacinto has a few, Metcalf has a few, Newton has a few left as well. And then the music stage, I would say it's a hit or miss. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because a lot of people who go to the music stage area, they either love it and they want that same booth and they want to be there year after year, or they don't like it and they want to move to like Main Market. So it's hard to say. A lot of people that come over to the music stage area and kind of stay all day tend to be men, tend to be like your older couples as well. So they will, like our older couples, when I say older, I mean like, you know, in their 60s, early 70s, they will come to this event and stay all day. They'll do a little bit of shopping, they'll get something to eat, they'll sit and listen to music for 2 hours, they'll do a little bit more shopping, they're just not really in a hurry. So if that sounds like your type of customer, then you probably want to be in the music stage area. If you need to talk a lot to explain your product, you probably don't want to be in the music stage area because it is a little bit loud. All right, so Wendy has a question. Let's see. Diamonds and dinosaurs. Girl, let me just tell you on a side note, the sequin jacket and the sequin skirt has been in rotation every single day since we brought it home. Can you go over load in and load out at the big top 10? Okay, perfect. So just a broad overview of load in and load out for Conroe. And again, at the end, I'm going to show you where you can get all of the resources for every single event on load in and load out. But generally speaking, you're going to come down 105 or what is called Davis Street, and you're going to turn right onto San Jacinto, and there will be a Big Top representative. We usually have a tent. We have a couple signs right here, and that's where you will check in. You will not be allowed to get into the event at any other entrance. So don't try to come in this way because there'll be another representative here that will turn you around. Everyone has to come in from San Jacinto. And then we'll find out where you're at. Depending on where you're going, you'll be directed, San Jacinto, whatnot. But let's just say you're in Main Market or you're in the Big Top tent for this example. Then you're going to drive down Simonton Street. And I will say the best times, if you're in Main Market or Big Top tent to load in, are going to be Thursday. Thursday is the best day to come because there's just not as many people. So you can take your time. You don't have to worry about traffic. As far as on Friday, I would say the earlier the better. Early AM, lunchtime hours seem to be very busy. So between like 12 to 2 o'clock is one of our busiest times. Then we kind of slow down until about 5 or 6. And then it's very busy from about 5 o'clock until we finish setup around 8 p.m. So Thursday or Friday early morning is least congested. So you will come in. Now, if you imagine the earlier you come, the less booths there will be. So you can just whip in and drive and turn your trailer around, and basically you will back up to either this door, or this door, depending on where you are in the big top tent. The other thing is that the walls are just vinyl walls. So a lot of times when you come earlier, you might be able to just back in right here if you're A17, because AC4 isn't there yet, right? So the earlier you come, usually the closer to your booth you can get. Now, as we get into Friday afternoon and a lot of vendors are moved in, now we have to start sticking to the aisles because we can't just drive over tents, right? So it becomes a little bit trickier. You have to take, probably, if I had to guess, what Dave will do is you'll drive in here and you'll make a right and you'll loop in here. You'll unload your stuff as fast as you can, and then you will move and get out of the way. So if you want to take your time and do like, one trip at a time, and we're just like taking a nice slow pace, come on Thursday because it's not going to bother anyone. If you come in at 3 o'clock on Friday, the big top team and your fellow exhibitors are all going to be like, you need to move, drop your stuff. Don't even carry it to your booth, drop your stuff right here at the doorway and go move your vehicle and then come back and take it to your booth. So coming earlier is a lot less stressful. And so that's basically how it'll go for everyone out here in the main market. You'll come in, we have so many team members for this one, usually one person per aisle or one person for 2 aisles, and we'll be talking on the radios. So when you check in over here, they'll say G17 is here, G17, for example. It's not a real booth, but and then you'll come in and then we'll say, all right, G, you have G17 coming in, and then we'll flag you down and you'll go down your aisle. So it goes really smooth. It's just a matter of, the earlier you come, the least congested it is. The same thing for breakdown. So it's just like any other event that we do. You need to break down completely. Everything in your booth has to be broken down. Everything. So that's like your tent, your grid wall, everything's boxed up, everything's crated, whatever it is that you need, and you are completely done. And all you have to do is load up. Then we will allow your vehicle to come in. It's always what we call single axles first. So that's your cars, trucks, SUVs without a trailer. So we let those guys in first so they can get out of the way, and then we will let trailers in. The last 2 times we've been in Conroe, we have been completely broken down. This entire event, every single exhibitor has been gone in an hour and a half. So go with the flow, go with the system. We've got it figured out, and we know how to get you in and out as quickly as possible. The best way to do that is for everyone to follow directions. If everyone tries to do their own thing, it just gets frustrating, and then we're there for 3 or 4 hours. So go with the flow. There'll be plenty of big top team members on site to review, setup, and breakdown procedure as the weekend goes. We typically like to do a little rally Sunday morning, and we'll kind of go to each aisle and get everyone together and review the breakdown process. So if that answers your question, Wendy, if you have a different question, just let me know, type it in the chat box. And as far as inventory goes for the big top tent, like I said, we probably have about 30% of booths remaining. It looks like we have some 10 by 10s, 10 by 20s. We have a 10 by 20 end cap available. What? I am shocked. Let's see, AB 40. Oh my gosh, that had to have been someone who had to cancel out, because I know those were sold from the beginning. That's an excellent spot. If you're looking for a 10 by 20 in the big top tent, that is definitely where you want to be. And just a side note, as far as electricity goes, we now have it set up where you can just add it during registration. As of today, right now, and this could change here in the next month or so, we're working on a project, but right now at our outdoor events, you can only get electricity if you are registering for the big top tent. We don't run electricity outdoor, but we'll talk about some of those things later on. But yes, you can just kind of go around depending on where you want to be and see what the inventory looks like. San Jacinto we've done for the last 2 events, and it's great. Everybody who's on San Jacinto loves being there. So let's see what our inventory looks like there. We have 4 booths available. So if you're wanting to be on San Jacinto, register soon. We have 2 that are together, so you can make a 10 by 20. I know Newton and Metcalf actually are new for us this year. So they have not been, people haven't been registering for them as fast because they've never been there. So it's a great opportunity, if you're wanting to be on a street, that you can go ahead and snag like one of the great spots now, and that can be your spot that you register for every time we come out here. Yes, so question is, if I'm currently outside, can I pay the difference to move to be under the big top tent? And yes, you can. You just need to email info@bigtop.show and let them know what you want. And then basically we can adjust it and just send you an invoice for the difference. However, if you are concerned that that booth might sell out, then another thing you can do is just go ahead and register for what you want, pay for it, and then email and say, I registered for this booth. I no longer want that other booth. And then we'll just process a refund for you on your old booth. So you can do it either way. Sometimes just going ahead and paying for the booth you want is better, because if we get your email, but someone else already registered and paid for that booth, then it goes to the person who paid. So it's a give and take, right? So if you're able to register and pay for it, email us and say, I want to cancel my first registration. No problem. Or email us and say, I want to just pay the difference, and we can make that happen as well. All right, I'm going to move on from Conroe and hit up our next event, which is the Woodlands Country Club. This will be our 5th time, I want to say, at the Woodlands Country Club. We typically do 2 a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. The fall is obviously going to be your, people do extremely well in sales. Spring does good, but it is spring. People are here buying Christmas presents as well as for themselves. So let's take a look at the floor plan. I will tell you that the indoor is sold out already, and the wait list is already pretty long. So it never hurts to join a wait list. If something you want is sold out, you can just email info@bigtop.show, and we'll put you on the wait list. If something opens up, we go to the wait list and we'll let you know. So things do change and people do cancel out. I will say, especially the week before any event, we get, car broke down, children are sick, parents are, sick, had to travel out of town, anything and everything you can imagine. It happens. So things do open up. Don't lose all hope that, oh, it's sold out, so I'll never get indoor. If you want to get into the indoor at the Woodlands Country Club, you need to follow us on social media and check your emails, make sure that we're, not flagged for spam or we're coming to your inbox, because when we open this up, it sells out the very first day. So all of your pink booths, per the usual, are your premiums, and those are all indoor. I will say they're not true 10 by 10s. I want to say they're like 9 by 9s or 8 by 9s or something like that. It's just how we can configure the room to stay legal with having aisles and also giving you the most space available. So if you see here at the bottom, it says driveway, driveway from parking lot. So if you've never been to this venue, they have a huge parking lot. It's free parking for everybody. In the evening hours, they also do free valet. So people can just drive up and drop off their vehicle, and then the valet will take care of it for them. So that's where your traffic's going to be coming from. So between D17 and D16, all of your traffic's going to be coming up that way. Then you see we kind of have like a circle driveway effect. All of the yellow booths that you see here and the blue and the orange are all outdoor, bring your own tent spaces. Besides the purples, DQ1 and DQ2, which are boutique truck and trailer spaces, which are sold out as well. Now, as we move to where it says, sorry guys, main entrance, and these D's here. So D1, 2, 3, and 4, those are outdoors, but they're covered already. So there's a porch patio cover over them. So you do not need, and you cannot bring a pop-up tent, because a pop-up tent popped up under a porch, it looks ridiculous, guys. We want it to look nice. D1 is an excellent spot. It really is. It's a 10 by 20 is how we market and how we price it, but it's actually more like a 10 by 30, where it actually says D01 is covered by that patio. This little square that my mouse is over right now is not under a patio. So you can run without cover if you want that additional 100 square feet. Like I said, this area is covered. Oops, it's a 10 by 20. And then you actually get an additional 10 by 10 for free it's not covered. So you can bring a pop-up to go there or not. And it's right at the entrance into the indoor building. So that's why it's really an excellent spot. C8 at the bottom is only 5 foot deep, 10 foot wide. So it's more of a table space, but it's also a really great spot because you're right by the entrance. So when you come in indoor, there is a foyer, and then we have the bathrooms, of course, and we have all of our indoor spaces. Now, if you look to the far left where it says B1, 2, 3, 4, those are outdoor. They are on a patio, but they are not covered. So you should still bring your tent with you so you can be shaded there. And historically, those have been okay booths, to be quite honest with you. I would say the D's definitely get a lot more traffic. Although the B's, I mean, people were not unhappy with their sales. It's just, I think the D's get more traffic. So keep that in mind. If you register at the last minute and there's only a B open, I would definitely give it a shot, but maybe think about registering earlier next year so you can get into a D space. And then all of these blue C's, they are covered on a patio. So you do not need a tent there. There's no room for a tent. You have a patio cover over you. And those are all 5 foot deep and 10 foot wide. And there are pillars between them. So if you want to buy like 2 or 3 of those to make a larger booth, you certainly can. Just keep in mind there are pillars. So it can be a little bit tricky if you're wanting to do grid wall or something like that. Just know you have to be creative with those spaces. So looking at inventory, we have, looks like D's available. So we have D8, which is a 10 by 30 up here at the top. And then we have D12 and 13. So if you wanted to put those together to make a 10 by 20, you certainly can do that. D15 and D15 is a 10 by 30, and then D18 is a 10 by 20. Both of those are right by the entrance. So good spots. As far as load in and load out, we do load in on Monday, pretty much all day, like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. I believe. And if you're outdoor, you can drive directly to your booth. If you are indoor, then you will come up the driveway. And then I don't know which way Dave has you guys going, but I'll just show you, come around this way, and then you would back up to the building to unload, whether it's a vehicle or a trailer. Just keep in mind, we can only fit so many vehicles in this little ring at any given time. So just be prepared that you might have to be patient for load in and for load out. You might arrive and we might say, okay, it's going to be 20 minutes because there's someone unloading right now and we need them to move. And the same for breakdown. So it's just like any other event, you're going to break down completely to where all you need to do is load, and then we'll get the vehicles in. We cannot get a trailer in there. I mean, we physically cannot get a trailer in there when all the tents are set up. So again, it's going to be all of your vehicles with no trailers first, and then we can start letting trailers in. So just be kind and be patient, because I would say that's probably the number one thing that people get frustrated with is, well, I'm ready to go and I just need my trailer. Well, if you can tell me how exactly you're going to physically get your trailer in here, I would surely let you do it, but it's not always possible. So keep that in mind. That is the Woodlands Country Club, nearly sold out. All right, Blitzens Bazaar, which is going for sale on August 22nd, which is next Monday. So really excited about that, getting the floor plan finalized, getting everything online. Because of the way my settings are on my computer, you can't see it, but if you go on your computer to either the schedule and click on Pearland or bigtop.show/Pearland December, then you will see a wait list. I would join that wait list because we typically will give the wait list early access, and it might only be a day. I like to give you as much early access as I can once I get everything online. But typically you will get some early access. So join the wait list. This is going to be a really fun event, Friday, December 2nd, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we will have lighting out there, and we will also working out the logistical details, but have some type of electricity available as well, because you're going to need lights in your booth at night. This is actually part of the City of Pearland's Christmas tree lighting. So they're going to be doing their Christmas tree lighting at 6 o'clock. They're going to have a concert, carriage rides, kids zone, food trucks, the whole 9 yards. So we will be open all day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The rest of the festivities will be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is an outdoor event. There are videos on Instagram. If you go to our stories and check out the Pearland story highlights, then you can see videos of this venue. But it's an outdoor park, and there's also a huge gazebo with a covered roof and a cement floor. So you'll have the option of either one of those. Always keep in mind, if there's a pavilion, the pavilion sells out first. So mark your calendars for August 22nd. So you can be one of the first ones to register for Blitzen's Bazaar. Another new event opening up on August 22nd is Bluebird Haven in Madisonville, Texas. This is a beautiful venue. Again, videos on Instagram in the Madisonville highlights. It's actually a wedding venue, so you can imagine how beautiful it is. And this is Madisonville's hometown Christmas extravaganza. It's a new concept, a new type of event for us. And it's something that we think is going to go off with a bang. And we want to start doing more of these type of events in different cities. But we will run 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday. We'll have kids zone, we'll have food trucks, we'll have 5D traveling tavern with us. There's a dance floor, so we're going to have a dance. And of course, we'll have live music. And there's also speaks of a revival. There's, I think I was told 65 churches in Madisonville alone. And so we want to incorporate that. And the whole idea of this event is really community engagement and involvement. We want to have like a gift wrapping station where one of the local, youth groups can come in and do gift wrapping for donations. We want to involve the entire community. And so getting the churches involved, getting the local ag, FFA, the band, the choir, all of the local kind of youth related groups involved is really the goal of this event. And I think it's going to make it interactive for the community, make them want to come out and enjoy it. But of course, we'll also have the Big Top shopping. We will have the Big Top tent. We'll have outdoor booths, food, boutique trucks and trailer spots available as well. So all the stuff you know and love, plus some new and exciting things. And that's August 22nd, going live for registration. All right, guys, we're getting closer to the end of the year. We're already into December 10th and 11th in Town Green Park. This will be our first time at this venue. If you're familiar with the Woodlands area, this is right across the street from where we were in the summer at the Marriott. It's part of the Waterway District. The waterway, actually, the river runs right here. So you can walk from the Marriott, from Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, and this kind of trail right here goes all through the Woodlands. And so that's where we are, right on the water. If you have seen the swans in the Woodlands, the swan little, what are those called? Like paddle boats. The little paddle boat rental station is right over here. So we're kind of right in the thick of it. And then off the north entrance, that's going to be your Market Street. So if you know where like H-E-B is, the Market Street shopping district, the Hyatt, all of the restaurants, it's right there. So we are right in the middle of everything happening in the Woodlands. So we expect, honestly, traffic again to come from every direction. I expect a lot of traffic from the north entrance because this is the official front of the park. The Market Street will have parking available for us. They have a parking garage as well as just street parking. So I expect a lot of walk-in traffic in this way. But also people who know the Woodlands, who are more familiar with it, who probably live there, I believe will come from the Waterway entrance, just because you can park like at Cynthia Woods, or you can park at the Marriott and just walk over, and they know that it's going to be a lot easier and less congested than the Market Street parking. There's also a trolley that runs through the Woodlands that runs through here. It's on its regular route. So people who are familiar with the trolley system will take that. And then over here on, I guess we'll call it, let me see, northeast. So on the west side is a library. So even though they do have signs that people cannot park there, I'm pretty sure people will park there and walk over this way. So traffic from every direction. This is all outdoor. We are not bringing the Big Top tent. However, we do have tents available for rent, which I'm going to be hitting on in like the next two slides here. So we've got one more event after this to review, and then I'm going to talk about the tent rentals. So you can get a tent rental. We will come and put up the tent for you, or you can bring your own tent, of course. These pink booths here, 1 through 7, They are under a pergola. So it's kind of covered, kind of not covered, to be honest. It has the slatted roof. So it's not a completely solid roof. There's, sun will be able to come through. So that's an option as well, but you cannot bring a tent under the pergola. So the pergola is your top. AA1 and 2, I'm surprised they're still available. That is at the very, very front entrance. So I will say it's a give and take relationship, because you are going to be seen by the road. You're going to be the first one they see when they enter and exit from the north entrance. However, if they enter and exit from the other sides, they might not see you. They might not go out there. Restrooms are right here though. So the bathrooms for the facility are here. We have 2 boutique trucks and trailers, 2 food trucks and trailers. Those are all sold already. And then of course, 5D Traveling Tavern will be with us as well. Porta potties throughout and trash cans as well. So for load in and load out, it'll be the same thing. You will be able to drive up to your booth to unload. The sooner that you come for unload, which will be Friday only, then, the more. It's just like anything else in life. The more flexibility there is, the more exhibitors that move in, the less flexibility we have, and we have to start pushing people in and out to go up and down these aisles and get out of the park. So questions on Town Green Park, let me know. That is scheduled for December. We have a good amount of inventory available. I believe as far as corners and end caps go, they are almost sold out. A little trick that I think works, let me just make sure. Yeah, is you can do on your keyboard Control and F, and that will open up a little find here, and you can do corner, and then you see where it's highlighting in green everywhere it says corner. So I like to use that little trick. So far, it looks like all of the corners are sold out. Corner. All right, so all of the corners are sold out. If you're looking for a 10 by 20 end cap, I think I saw one available. So we have the A1 and the A2 that I told you guys about in the beginning. And I saw one down here when we we're looking for corners. H10 is available. J01 is available. And that's it. So we're getting low on corners and end caps if that's something that's important to you. Now you can always do an inline, and you can always add 2 or 3 10 by 10 side by side together to create whatever size booth you want. And again, on the additional photos, I've blown up. So I kind of did like the north half and the south half, so you could get a little bit closer photo of what's going on. All right, moving on to Willow Fork Country Club. This will be our first time there. We are nearly sold out. We have a couple booths available. The AA booths are all indoor in the ballroom. The CA is also indoor, but sold already. And then all of your Bravo Alpha and your Bravo Bravo, so your BA and your BB booths are outside. They are covered, so no tent needed. You're on a covered, patio balcony that overlooks the golf course. Now, a couple things about this venue I want you to be aware of right now is we are on the 2nd story. There is an elevator, but I would not even honestly consider it an elevator. It's one of those ones that has like the little gate from like the 20s. It will not fit a clothing rack inside. So it's like a very small square. We are welcome to use it to load in and out, but just keep in mind there's only one. And it's perfect if you have like a dolly, like your totes, that's all going to be great. I do not think Gridwall is going to be able to fit in there, or a standard clothing rack is going to fit in there. So you're going to have to go up the stairs. It's not a terribly a lot of stairs, but there are stairs. So just keep that in mind if you, depending on what your setup is and what your inventory is, if you'll be able to get it upstairs comfortably. I just want everyone to be aware of that. So Willow Fork is open, nearly sold out. All right, so let's talk about some of the extra bells and whistles that we're offering this year, and that is tent rentals for pretty much every single event where we have outdoor space available. I will be working on getting it integrated into the registration process. Trying to find one where we have electricity, like here we go. So right here, you can pick your booth and then you can add electricity and it goes in with the price. I'm working on getting that integrated, but currently it's available at bigtop.show/tents. And at the top menu, it's tent rentals. So if you click there, it will load this page, and I have them by date. So if you want to do a 10x10 or a 10x20, you can do that here. So we have them available for Grand Central Park, October 8th. We have them available for Round Top Antiques Week, October 22nd through the 30th, Belleville, November 5th and 6th, Conroe, November 19th and 20th, as well as Blitzen's Bazaar, December 2nd, and Pearland, Madisonville, December 3rd and 4th, and then Town Green Park, December 10th and 11th. So that's all of our outdoor events. So that's something new that is available. We only have 2 10x20 tents. So if you specifically want a 10x20 tent, don't wait too long to get your reservations in. But we do have 13 10x10s, which you can always, do 2 10x10s to make a 10x20. As far as electricity, if you need to add electricity after the fact, like if I've already registered, but I need to add electricity, keep in mind for outdoor events, we only offer electricity in the Big Top tent. For indoor events, if electricity is available, we can do that. You can always just search at the top for electricity, and then it'll bring up your different events. So I need electricity in Katy, I need electricity in Conroe, whatever the case may be, you can add that. For our country club events, so the Woodlands Country Club and Willow Fort Club, we do not offer electricity. If there is a plug nearby you, you're welcome to use it, but we don't run electricity. We don't bring generators to those events. So just keep that in mind. You'll be kind of on your own if you need electricity. Which brings me to our blog, and want to show you guys a couple things on the blog, especially the exhibitor toolkit, and a great solution for electricity that I think every exhibitor should look into and do, because it's going to save you a ton of money in the long run. So bigtop.show/blog, you can also click blog here on the menu. So for example, this presentation is being recorded. I surely hope I hit record, and I will be posting it online so that people can view it after the fact if they were not able to jump on live. So a lot of our trainings that we've done, like planning your social media like a pro, take the stress out of what to post today. We have a whole training that we did on that was recorded. Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo, very similar to what we're doing now, except I just went over questions related to the rodeo and the floor plan. Double your sales with a killer display is probably our top, most viewed training, and that is all about display, how you make more money, what's important, psychology of display, colors, branding, and then I go over a lot of different vendors where you can buy different display pieces. It's just a really fun one. So I would check that out if you haven't already. But let me scroll down. There are different trainings you can watch on here, but I'm looking specifically for the exhibitor toolkit, which is right here. And I try to include this in the exhibitor setup details for each event. But what this is all about is things that you need to bring with you, especially for an outdoor event. So outdoor events, having the correct size tent for your booth is key. Bowing legs do not work. So the $45 Academy tent, you know how much I hate them, because they have the bowing legs, so they stick out like that, and now it's in your neighbor's booth or it's in the aisle. That does not work. Also, tent top colors, I think white is the best. Some events do require that you have a white tent. We do not, but it definitely looks the best and allows the most lighting in. Tents, we don't do tent frames for indoor events, so you need to get like your own display racks, shelving, whatever the case may be. Different places I recommend you can get Gridwall, as well as our Pinterest board. I constantly add new pins to this. So this is a great place to go for display ideas, as well as vendors where you can buy particular things. I think we have like 600 pins on here now. it's taking a while to load. We'll see if we have time to come back to that, but you can check that out. Banners and signs, where I go for all of our banners and signs, I find they are great quality. They're very fast on shipping and they're the best prices I found. They've always have some type of coupon or sale going on. Backdrops as well. Now, what I really want to show you is this power and electricity boxes, and this is what we are moving towards. This is what we're getting away from the traditional generators, and we're moving towards these electric power boxes. So in the future, when you rent electricity from us, you will essentially be renting to use this power box. But why I recommend that people just buy their own is, let's just imagine we charge $65 for an electricity hookup right now, and that could change with these power boxes. It will probably go up, but let's just say $65, and let's just say you always get electricity at every single event you do, and you do, you know, events every other weekend, half of the year, so 25 events a year. You're spending about $1,600 on electricity across the board for the whole year. Well, you could buy one of these, and some of them are cheaper and some of them are, you know, they go up to about $1,000. That box is going to last you way more than 1 year. Even if it lasts you only 3 years and it dies on you, you still came out ahead. And now you're not dependent on us or any other promoter to provide your electricity. And you know, I don't know, you can just take it with you everywhere you go. And that's why I love them. So this is the Ryobi model you can get at Home Depot online. They don't have them in stores typically. What I like about it is it has these extra batteries, and you can get like 200 batteries. I mean, you can get however many batteries you want. And then that way you can just keep your batteries. And if you use all your power, you can quickly change your battery out and you're good to go. So highly recommend the Ryobi model. This little Westinghouse, it's $130. So keep in mind, you get what you pay for. I think this is great if you're just wanting to make sure like your phone or your tablet for your cash register gets charged. I wouldn't depend on this for like, you know, lighting or like a TV or crock pot, but a very, you know, affordable option for sure. Another Ryobi model, again, it's smaller, more for like phones and tablets and things like that. Let's see. I don't know anything about this brand, but it did come up online. Hold on, wait. EcoFlow. Okay. Yeah, this one is what I don't really know much about, but you can check it out. It's on Amazon, rated. It's $380, so probably a good middle of the road. And then the Jackery is what we actually purchased. It seemed to have like the best reviews online. It is the more expensive one, but they do have several options. So like if you're just looking again to charge like your phone, they have a 350 model. That's $350. We bought the 350, I believe the 550 and the 1000. So to kind of like just test them out, and we test them out when we were in Old Town Spring and we were very impressed with them. So again, the 350 is going to be more for like your phones and tablets. The 550 is probably like if you have like some lights, or you want to be able to plug in like a fan or something like that. Now the downside is it does not have the interchangeable batteries like the Ryobi, but it does have a solar panel that you can purchase. So depending on your situation, you might be able to charge it at an event, but it's something you probably want to take home with you at night, charge and bring back the next day. And we use the thousands for 1,000-watt for crock pots, and it worked beautifully. So if you do have crock pots or something that pulls a lot of power, I can tell you from our experience that it worked really, really well. So those are just a few power options for you. You can go directly to them at bigtop.show/blog/electric, or you can go to our blog and find this electricity write-up. What is called Electric Generators and Power Boxes Worth Investing in. And this is also available inside the exhibitor toolkit. So reliable Wi-Fi is also something to consider. Pearland, yes, sorry, question. Oh, squirrel. Someone dropped a question. Pearland, December 2nd. Can you set up on Thursday? Yes. So we will have set up on Thursday and the event on Friday. That's correct. Reliable Wi-Fi. Most people run off their cellular network and it works just fine. It kind of depends on your carrier and where we are. Some venues like
T-Mobile people will have say, I don't have a good signal. Another venue, AT&T people will say I don't have a good signal. It's kind of out of our control, but having like a Wi-Fi hotspot is not a bad idea. We have two actually. This is the one we used to use. And what I liked about it was kind of pay as you go. So if we went a couple of months without having an event, we weren't paying for it. But you can buy like basically minutes online, put it on there. And I found it to be very reliable and work everywhere we went. So I have no complaints about this one little $50 box. Our new one is actually through T-Mobile through our cell phone service. So we do pay for it every month, but it was only $10 a month. So I'm like $10 a month. All right, let's do it. So different options, but just keep that in mind. If you do ever have issues with your phone or your Wi-Fi, maybe a hotspot is for you. Fire safety. Fire extinguishers are required at all of our events for everybody to have in their booth at all times. It must be ABC rated in order for the fire marshal to accept it as a fire extinguisher. You can pick them up on Amazon, Walmart, anywhere. Like just a regular kitchen fire extinguisher is perfect. You don't need a huge one. It can be any size that you want, but it should say ABC on it. And it'll typically be pretty obvious on the label. It'll say ABC. So let's see if we can find it here. If you can't find it there, then in the description, it will usually tell you that it is ABC. Here we go. The Kitty 1A 10BC is suitable for blah, blah, blah. So it's basically like trash, liquids, and electrical is what it stands for. So just make sure you have one of those in your exhibitor toolkit with you at all times, just in case. We have had it happen. We have had the fire marshal come and do an inspection, and they gave everybody overnight. They came on Friday during setup. They checked every single booth and said, we'll be back tomorrow to check your booth again. And if you do not have a fire extinguisher, we will have you break down. And that's out of our control. There's nothing we can do to help you at that point. There are no refunds for you at that point. So just go ahead and spend the $25 and get your fire extinguisher and keep it in your booth. And then bugs and pests. Just remember, guys, this is an outdoor event. We typically will have like a bag of ant killer, but we really expect everyone to bring what they need for their booth. So having like some mosquito spray, like off, having some ant bait if you have ants in your booth, having your own sunblock, like chapstick, bring a hat with you. Like, we are outdoor for 16 hours more if you consider the setup time. So just take care of yourself. Like, I hate to see when people come in on Sunday and they have sunburn. Doesn't make me feel good. So your sunblock, your hat, your chapstick, your mosquito spray, your ant killer, all of those kind of things, just get a tub or a bag and go get it and just keep it in that bag. And anytime you do an event, whether it's with Big Top or someone else, you just already have it ready to go and you can take that bag with you on the go. A couple other things, just side notes, are like, if we have rain before or during the event or overnight, I mean, all of these things have happened. For outdoor events, we do not have the manpower or, honestly, like the finances to be able to waterproof or weatherize everyone's individual booths. So keep that in mind, that if it just rained, you might want to bring like a bale of hay with you, or some shavings, or a bag of sand. Like, these are things, because it is essentially your store. If you want to make it the best experience for the customer, to just have those on hand or pick them up on your way in. I know exhibitors, you guys are like so great with working with each other and being so friendly with each other. And I know at Conroe in February, when we were there, it rained like Saturday morning for like an hour. And the show still goes on. Everyone was still set up. And as soon as that rain stopped, it was absolutely amazing just to see all of the, all of the customers, like as soon as this rain stopped, I think they were all waiting in the parking garage, and then the road just like flooded with people. And honestly, it felt really good to see that. But I know so many exhibitors that work together and like, okay, well, your husband, can he go get some hay and we're all going to chip in? And then they have their whole aisle, you know, covered with hay so that it didn't get really mushy during the day. So just work with your neighbors, but don't come in with the untitled, you know, mentality that, oh, well, Big Top's just going to take care of all of this for us, and they're going to come in our booth and they're going to sand our booth down. We're not. We don't have the resources, manpower to be able to do that for everybody. So keep that in mind. Keep a look at the weather. We all take the same risk when we go into an event. We take the risk of, we're working on the schedule for 2023, 2024. We're even signing contracts for 26 and 27. So we take the risk of, we're paying for a venue years in advance before you guys even have the ability to register. And then of course you're taking a small piece of that risk whenever you register and get your booth and you say, I'm going to be there on this day and that time, and show up and sell. So it's a give and take relationship, and we all have to work together. But if we all do our part, then we can continue riding the train to success. So I'm going to be signing off now. If you have any questions, now would be the time to ask. Our little Pinterest board finally opened up, so I'll show you what that looks like. But if you do have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or drop them in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer them. And if there are no questions, then we'll be signing off here in a few minutes. But this is the Pinterest board I was referencing. Oh, there's one more thing. So you can go here and take a look, and just so many DIY and purchasable display items. Vendor setup, so important. BigTop.show/VSU is the link where we post all of the emails we send out about setup. The goal for fall of 2022 is everybody will have all of their setup details in September. So ideally we send out all the setups for the whole rest of the year, because as you know, we're going to be on site at all of these events, October, November, December as well. So we will not have as much time in the office. These are from the summer, so obviously these will be removed and replaced with the fall. But typically if you come to this site, VSU, it's going to have any email that we sent out and when it was sent out. So as updates are sent, we replace this with the most up-to-date. And then if there are any food permits or any specific permits to any particular area, we'll have those on here as well. So this is a great resource. If you're not sure, if you didn't get the email, you can't find the email, you lost the email, you just don't know when to be there, then always you can come to bigtop.show/VSU, like vendor setup VSU. Just save that, bookmark it, write it on Post-it note, put it next to your bedside table, whatever you need to do. And you can come to that site at any time and see if there are updated VSU details. If you don't see anything, that means we haven't sent it out yet. So as soon as I send it out, I update the website immediately. Alrighty, guys. Well, I don't see any more chat questions, and I don't see anyone unmuting themselves, so I'll be signing off now. But if you do have questions, feel free to reach out in all the ways. Our email is info@bigtop.show, info@bigtop.show. Our office line is 936-900-1900. Our office hours do change from time to time depending on the season, but typically we are open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that is when we are answering the phone, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for phone calls. Leave a voicemail, return your call the next day. And of course, you can always reach out on social media, Facebook, Big Top Entertainment, and Instagram is bigtop.show. So look us up, follow us, like us, all the things, stay connected, and we'll see you guys at the next show. Have a great day.